Mark from the States, Mark from the States, it's Mark from the United States.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Mark from the States. How we doing today? I am doing fantastic. I hope you are as well. Thank you so much for coming. New channel today. This is, I've never even heard of this before. This is fantastic. So we did a video, or was it the video on... You know what? It was just the last video of looking at photos, I believe. Photos. Nope. It was the video where we did the walk. We watched Josh take us on the walk through the bank of the Thames all the way to Parliament and Elizabeth Tower and Big Ben and so on. And there was the shot where, since it was low tide, you could see a beach. I don't recall ever seeing that before, and so I made a comment about, oh my gosh, there's like a little beach. It was steps that went down. And so I was a little surprised by that, because I don't recall every photo that I see. I guess the tide is in. But one of you said, oh, you need to check out this person's mudlarking videos. And I'm like, mudlarking? What the heck is that? So I reached out to her. Her name is, and hopefully I'm pronouncing it right, Nicola White. And if I'm mispronouncing it, please correct me, because I want to be able to say her name correctly. But she's got a YouTube channel where she does this thing called mudlarking. What is mudlarking? Well, from what I understand, is when the tide goes down, they have to be licensed mudlarkers to be able to go down and search through the mud, look for. And what's cool about it, it's kind of like metal detecting in a way. At least that's how I'm kind of connecting it. But they go through the mud, and it's when the water recedes, they're able to get down there. And what's crazy is they have to be licensed, or they have to have some sort of government issued okay to be able to do that, which I think is great, because then you don't have hundreds of thousands of people every time the water going down there and destroying the environment, or you at least have some sort of sense of keeping it the way it was, or is, I should say. And but yeah, I can only imagine how much history they find down these things. And so yeah, I'm like, okay, I've got to check this out. So I contacted her. She was so wonderful and gracious enough to give our channel the blessing to be able to just see what she's doing and see some incredible things that she finds, I guess. So I'm really looking forward to this video. So thank you to the suggestion, or for the suggestion. And I'm excited to find out what the heck is mudlarking and everything that it entails. Please go support her channel. It will be linked, of course, to this video and to her channel. If this is something that interests you, go over, show her that we support people and who we watch, the original creator. I have currently 2 strikes, so I'm going to give you the spiel. If I get 3 strikes and I'm not able to get out of it and they take the channel, you know what to do, right? We already have a contingency plan. It goes over to Patreon. I create the Patreon page. You look for Mark from the States. I have a page pretty much ready to go. All I got to do is activate it, and we can go over there, and that way you and I can still enjoy hanging out together. But that is the generic that is my plan if this were to be taken away. So I do have 2 strikes. You know the drill. If a third one comes rolling through, head on over and look for Mark from the States on Patreon. In the meantime, to prevent a third strike, of course, that's why I'm trying to reach out to as many creators and get their permission. And I've gotten permission from a lot. I feel really blessed that a lot of people have entrusted our channel to be able to watch and learn, and I'm just so grateful. I am, in the meantime, purging older videos. This last one was a video that was done, I don't know, 2 years ago. So there, you think you get to have passed a certain point in time lapse, and no, it's just, it happens. I sure wish it would be so great if YouTube would give you the option of when you're creating the video to opt out of allowing someone to even show your video, to have your video. It would just automatically block it, and nobody be getting strikes. They wouldn't have to go through the whole process of reviewing everything to send out the strike, to have it removed. It would just be instant. And I don't understand why YouTube doesn't just have that option for when you're creating videos. They do have a question when you upload a video. It's like, hey, do you allow this to be used? So it's almost like inviting you or someone else to just go, to be able to use your content. But it would be so much easier for everyone involved if there was just an option of saying, yeah, I don't want, as soon as someone starts using my video, you just put a copyright on it to where, it just becomes ineligible. Here it's like, it's still, the button is there, I think, to say whoever's using it can't monetize from it. I know there's a way that it becomes instantly blocked, because I know I've tried to do before. So I don't know. I'm nowhere near understanding how YouTube works. Anywho, in the meantime, I'm starting to purge. I am deleting older videos. So if you want to go back and check the catalog, there was 700 videos, 600 videos, something like that. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I made that many. And I'm just, again, thank you to all the original content creators out there that allowed me to learn and watch. But I'm just going to start deleting them. So if there's some older videos that you want to see on the channel, get going, because they are slowly but surely going to be removed. We're going to just try to have it to where it's people that have given us their blessing. I know back when I wasn't really understanding how the YouTube reaction genre worked, and I have gotten the blessing from so many. There are a few that said no. Some of the ones that we've done before, and they said no, so I went back and deleted and I'd done quite a bit of them. I'm not going to name their name. That's not important. But I've deleted a bunch of the videos that we used to see a lot of, and so. But I totally respect their decision. That is totally cool. I'm not here to ruin anybody's day. I'm here to learn. And I know for a lot of people, this is their career. And it's not my career. I'm just here to hang out with all my friends, you all, of course, and learn something. And that's what's enjoyable for me. So, with that said, this is Surprising Treasures Found in the River Thames, Mudlarking with Nicola White. Thank you so much for the suggestion. Thank you, Nicola, for allowing us to watch this. And let's get into it. I'm excited, actually, to see this. I have no idea. That I didn't know they allow cruise ships on the Thames. I didn't think it was deep enough for that. I'm assuming that's on the Thames there. My goodness. And that's a big ship, too.
Here we go, look. What I can see. I'm sure you can.
No.
Here, look, just being eroded out.
Look at that.
Some signs of pipage here. Look, there's a stem there. With nothing on it, unfortunately. But what have we got here? There we are, look. A nice 18th century pipe bowl.
Really?
Now, the last time this pipe was in the world, so to speak, it wouldn't have been looking at anything quite like the Viking Venus. Oh no, it would have been more sort of galleons, wooden sailing boats. So there you are, look, pipe. See how the world has changed
Wow.
since the last person who was holding you was alive. Yep, it's changed, hasn't it? A lot, a lot. It probably wants to go back in the mud. So down here, I just prized out this piece of pottery. And actually, it's really pretty. It's got a lovely design on it. We'll go and wash it off. But I think it's a man with a horse. There we go. Or I don't know. Maybe
looks like a man
that.
feeding a bear. Or a horse.
It's a man
Yeah.
doing something anyway.
It does look like it.
Further investigation is required.
Oh,
Looks like
wow.
he's feeding something. Maybe not a horse. Now I can see what looks like a blade down here,
at all
looking at
those-
the mud. The question
those
is,
chain
is there going
links.
to be a handle on the end? Now there's the blade.
Oh,
The
I didn't even see that. You gotta have a
shape of
really good
A
eye.
knife blade. Now what have we got under here? You know, we might be lucky.
Oh, don't cut yourself.
Oh yes, we are lucky. Look at that. That is in remarkably good condition. It's either got a bone. It's probably bone, I think. Yeah, it's not wood. But look at that. An entire knife. I'm not sure on the age, but I know a man who will know. I'll be consulting Graham, who has donated lots and lots of his found knives to the Cutler's Hall. Wow, great find. Let's give it a little wash.
Cutler's Hall. Look at all the chain. Is that what those are? Like broken chain link? Just
Oh, this is lovely. I've got a beautiful knife at home with some initials in it. Doesn't look like this one's got initials, but it's in remarkably good condition. Look at that. That's beautiful. Lovely. If we're lucky, there might be a maker on there.
and a tire. It's kind of a bummer. I've seen a few like metal detector videos. I've seen magnet fishing videos. If you haven't seen the magnet fishing ones, those are pretty bonkers. So this kind of fits in the same category. It's just one of the common themes is just trash. It's just sad that there's so much trash everywhere, no matter where you are. It's just, man. The magnet fishing, when they're in Amsterdam doing magnet fishing, throwing the water, they pull out so many bicycles. It's so bizarre how many bicycles people just, they get tossed into the water. It's just, again, sad because, you know, environment and all that thing, it's just unnecessary. But that reminded me when you see the tire just floating around there.
Now look at these. I'm not going to take them, but it's interesting, isn't it? These must have been thrown in as some kind of ritual, I suspect. Candles tied together with some sort of reed type things. But what ritual? I don't know. There are so many votive offerings thrown into the river by so many different religions. So finding things like that isn't at all surprising.
With that said, and I'm sorry to keep pausing, this is going to be a long video if I keep doing that, but I guess it's better than what used to be thrown in there. Way back when, right? Thank you, Mr. Bazalgette. But yeah, I guess it could be a lot worse.
Look, now here's a heartbreaking bottle. A lovely flask with a cork in it, but completely broken. What a shame. But was there a name on the other side, maybe? Should we take a look and see? Anyway, let's have a look. Turn it over. Woo! Oh, no, there
bummer.
isn't. So at least there's that consolation, but would have been nice to find that hole, wouldn't it? Right, well, I'm here with my friend Kathy, and honestly, I am kind of green with envy because she has just pulled out of the mud this absolutely stunning pot hut. Look at that! Don't drop it, please. Don't drop it. How did you feel when you found that, and what did you see first of all?
It was just the little dots poking out the mud, and I thought, oh, that must be a bit of plate or something. I nearly left it. I just thought it was a bit of pottery.
And who is on there? So it's James B. Palmer. What's that? 8 and 9 Lower Thames Street and 173.
Yes.
Old Kent Road. That is absolutely stunning.
What the heck
I guess
is
it was
it?
for coffee jam, or I'm not sure what
Possibly.
been in it, but that's absolutely beautiful. That's the
Absolutely. I mean, the adrenaline,
wondrous.
how exciting. Yeah.
That's cool.
absolutely brilliant.
I'm so pleased.
You must be so pleased.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Well done, Kathy. Well done, Kathy. That's really
Thank you.
stunning. So always check little bits of plain pottery sticking out of the mud. That is the moral of the story.
I'll be doing that in future.
Thanks very much for sharing that find with us.
You're welcome.
Right, come along and see what I've just spotted down here, which could be absolutely nothing. Can you see what I'm looking at down there?
No.
I'm actually looking at this because it just looks, doesn't it, a little bit like the edge
A ring?
of a ring, which would be absolutely fabulous if it was, but it could equally be part of a light bulb or something. So
Yeah.
I'm going to take you along with me for the discovery. What do you think? Da, da, da. It's definitely not a ring. Oh, look.
It is the bomb of light bulb.
It is part of a light bulb. Darn.
It looked like a ring, though. How funny. Apparently, that's happened quite a bit. She has seen it before.
There's a piece of wood down here. This bit. It just piqued my curiosity. I'll turn the camera off while I'm extracting it, and I'll come back and show you if it's anything interesting. Okay, so as it happens, it does look quite interesting. It looks like it might have something to do with a sheave, some kind of pulley system. You can see that rounded edge there, which I think might be a sheave. Maybe there's one on the other side as well, there, you see. So, yeah, that's what I think it is.
Do you take that?
Clean it up a little bit so we can see a little bit more exactly what we're looking at. Well, look here, it's a little cleaner already.
Oh, wow.
And what I think we're looking at are definitely sheaves from a boat, and these bits here are probably made from lignum vitae, or some kind of different wood than the usual wood, or the wood that's in the middle here. I like that. I do like that.
Huh. Man, you must find some weird stuff down there. I mean, history. There seems like a lot of history down there.
And look, what I've also just pulled out of the mud. There was just the tiniest bit of metal poking out, so I gave it a little tug and out came a hook. Now that is also rather nice. That is a resplendent hook. I see the honker. There they are, look.
The honker.
Now, look what I've seen down here. Now, it looks like it could be a watch strap.
Oh. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, you gotta really have to have a good eye. Because over time... Oh. Oh.
Oh, look, there is. There is, you know.
Wow. Is it a Rolex?
Oh, wow. Look at that. It's not working, but it's definitely all there. Let's give it a little rinse.
It is a Rolex. Wow, that's a huge find right there.
Well, it says Rolex on it.
If it's real.
I can't believe that it's a real Rolex. That would be kind of too good to be true, wouldn't it? What about if I try and wind it up?
Just gotta hold the camera and try to do that.
It's
pretty tough.
Well,
Well, if it's real, well done.
well, there's a find. It would be amazing if it was real, but I suspect that it's probably
Fake, yeah.
not real. Okay. Further investigation is needed.
Yes, definitely required. Okay, I have to admit, I'm starting to get into this a little bit. It would be fun to spend a day out there doing this. I would want to do it
Look down here.
with her because I
I
wouldn't
thought
know
at first this could be a ring,
how to spot things.
but it isn't. Look, it looks like a little lens.
Oh, wow.
The end of something
I would have walked right by that.
with a lens in it. Some kind of maritime instrument, perhaps. Oh, here we go, look. If you don't like pipes, you're not going to like this segment of the video. It's a whole one. Well, it's not whole, the stem would have been longer. not long washed out of the mud, I suspect, and a few more tides dashing against these rocks, it would soon break up into pieces.
1740. Holy.
It's funny, isn't it? The people who smoked those pipes years and years ago would never have imagined that some strange lady would be walking along, picking them up centuries later.
That is a weird thought to have.
But I suppose, who knows what people are going to be picking up of ours in centuries' time and getting excited about it. Who knows? We will never know, will we?
Well, they'll have a lot to choose from.
That's a nice brick, isn't it?
IBW?
Other side. Now I've just come across what looks like a lovely piece of copper sheathing here, which used to be put onto the hulls of ships from the mid-18th century to protect them from shipworm, barnacles, salt, and all sorts. So I always take this. I absolutely love it. I'm going to wash that off. Oh,
you can recycle it.
Here, such a clean foreshore. Such a clean foreshore this evening. Lovely ship's nail here. Getting some beautiful nails as well. Okay, as the tide's coming in, I'm not going to hang around and wash it too thoroughly because I want to see what else there is. Okay, I will wash that though. Yeah, that's really nice. It's often made of copper, and that's where the saying copper bottomed comes from. Because when the ships were, or when the hulls were coated with this, they were reliable and trustworthy, and so when you enter into a deal with someone and somebody says, oh, it's copper bottomed, that's where it comes from. That's a lovely piece of sheathing there. Oh, now look, over here we've got a slightly more ornate pipe. So a lot later than these previous ones. Now this is a Victorian pipe, probably mid-19th century, and it's a rose and thistle design. There's the thistle, and there's the rose, and it's got that foliate design there up the seam. And it has a maker's mark. There's a W and what looks like a C. And you can see where it's been smoked, look, it's all charred around the edge. And as always, I'll keep the mud in there because you never know, there may be a little dottle of tobacco at the bottom.
Crazy.
We really have got some really nice pipe specimens spanning all through the ages. From early 18th to mid 19th. Here we have a very wet, bedraggled little bird. It's okay, little bird. You can come home with me.
It's getting dark. Beautiful. The color.
And there goes the sun. Come back, sun. Hi everyone, thank you very much for watching my video. I hope that wherever you are in the world, you're in good spirits and good health, and that your weekend or your week is going as it should do, which is really well, I hope. So here I have in front of me a big pile of miscellaneous mudlarking finds, as usual, which featured in today's video. And so let's take a look at them. And let's start with the one which I'm sure you're all wondering about. And it is this rather garish watch here, which of course, and I'm sure most of you will probably have guessed, it is not a real
Bummer.
Rolex. As much as I might wish that it was, it isn't. And you can tell by many reasons. There's no serial number on the back. It's not working, and if it was a real one, it would still be working. It would be watertight. The paint is kind of bubbling off, and so although initially I thought, oh, maybe it could be real, it isn't. It wasn't working when I picked it up. When I actually got it home and started to wind it, it did start working for a while. Let's see if we can do it again. See if we can get that little second hand going. No, it's not going to play. So anyway, it's not real. So who knows why it was thrown over the wall. Maybe somebody was given it as a present and then were very, very disappointed when they realised that it wasn't real. Or maybe it was stolen. Or, I don't know, maybe it was an offering. Who knows? But now I've got it here, and I'm sure I'll find something to do with it. I'll probably make a little assemblage with it and put it in a frame, do something arty with it. So that's the watch, the fake Rolex. It was still quite exciting finding it though.
Absolutely.
For one moment there, I thought, oh, a Rolex.
Yeah, when you see...
Maybe you can help
see it at first, yeah.
with this find here. It's a lovely piece of pottery, which has on it a little scene. Now, it does look like a person feeding
a polar bear,
a griffin or an eagle. I'm not terribly sure what it signifies. Maybe it's a god feeding another god.
I'm going polar bear.
I haven't had a great deal of time to look it up, to be honest. So if anybody out there knows what this scene signifies, or who these people are, or what this would have been in its entirety, looks like a little cup or a vase, then please let me know. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Sometimes it's more intriguing to find a piece of something, a piece of pottery,
right?
Because then you have that sort of challenge
mystery
to try and put it together and work out what it really was, rather than if you find something which is already whole and there's no challenge, there's no mystery, there's no intrigue. So here's a little pottery challenge. I have here in front of me lots of bits of ship. So which bit shall we start with? Here is some copper sheathing, lots of holes in it, and this would have been nailed onto the hull of a ship. In the mid-18th century, the Admiralty copper-bottomed their fleet for a variety of reasons, but one of them, or most of them rather, are things that would destroy the wood of the ship, like ship rot, shipworm, salt corrosion, and also barnacles. Barnacles could not cling on to this copper bottom. And also it used to make the ship a lot more streamlined and go faster through the water. And I've said it before, I think in a previous video, that is where the saying comes from, something that is copper bottomed being trustworthy and reliable. I do have a few pieces of copper sheathing. I'll soon have enough to copper bottom my own boat, because actually I'm getting so many bits of boat here. I'll soon have enough to make my own boat. I've got this, which you saw me extract from the mud, which is part of a wooden block pulley. I've got the wood in the middle here. There would have been wood on either side.
That looks old.
And then we've got the sheaves, which I believe are made out of lignum vitae. And we also have the hook to go with it.
I didn't even put two and
There's
two
the
together.
Hook, and would have been underneath here with the rope coming down, attaching the hook. So part of an old ship, certainly 19th century.
So there'll be
They're
two
some of my
other pieces
favourite
wood on
types
the
of
other
finds,
side.
to be
Got
honest.
it.
These finds, from maritime history, I just absolutely love it. Recently, and I didn't have my camera at the time, unfortunately, recently I found a big deadeye here, which would also been part of a ship's rigging. I've got my little pipe bowl, which features the rose and the thistle. It's quite a common design. I've actually got quite a lot of rose and thistle pipe bowls, but as I was getting them all together to have a look at them, I realised how different many of them are.
It's like artwork, right? No wonder why she can spot it so easily. This is so cool.
Always a pleasure to find these fancy clay pipes. The clay pipe makers back in Victorian times were real artists, I think, with the designs that they used to come up with. Now, Kathy, as you will have seen, found a beautiful pot, which I had thought was a jam pot or a marmalade pot. But when I looked up J.B. Palmer, it's actually a James Barrow Palmer, and he was a salt merchant in 1842 in Lower Thames Street and in Old Kent Road.
So cool.
And actually, when I started to look him up, I came across a court case which was from the Old Bailey back in the 19th century, and I will just read you a little bit of it. It's somebody who was accused of stealing salt from him. So James Barrow Palmer, who was actually giving a statement, says, "I am a salt merchant and live in Lower Thames Street. The prisoner was a servant of Mr. Worthington, who contracted to do my work. On the 21st of November, he, and it's Henry Jones, was entrusted with several parcels of salt to take to different customers, and until the night before last, I believed it was one of those parcels that was stolen. But I find that to be a mistake. The salt found upon him was not to be delivered to anyone. It was put into the cart without my knowledge. I only know this from his having it in my cart, and having no other property in the cart but what was mine. It is impossible to swear to salt." So all that sounds extremely complicated, and actually, in the end, Henry Jones was found to be innocent. Or not guilty. Maybe he wasn't innocent, but anyway, he was found not guilty.
He wasn't guilty.
I also came across a little piece in a newspaper of the 19th century about James Palmer and his venture into the production of vinegar as well. So I'll also put that up on the screen for you to have a look at. It's always fun looking up these people on the shards that we find. It sort of brings their stories to life. And so there we are, James Barrow Palmer. And Kathy, well done on that find. Absolutely superb and intact, beautiful pot like that. So yeah, as we said in the video, always check those little bits of pottery poking out of the mud. And I'll put Kathy's Instagram site on here as well, up in the corner. Kathy's actually a Guernsey mudlark from the Channel Islands. And so if you want to have a look and see what they're finding out there in Guernsey, then take a look at Kathy's Instagram site and give it a follow. Last but not least, I want to tell you about the beautiful knife which came out of the mud.
Oh, right.
And a big thank you to veteran mudlarks Graham Duome and also Simon Moore for identifying it for me. Now, Graham cleaned up the knife and it came out absolutely beautiful, as you'll see from this photograph. And it was also identified by Graham and Simon as being from the late 17th century, which is amazing because I thought that it was a lot later than that. So to find something so old and now to have had it cleaned and in such superb condition, it's really very special. I'm going to be doing a video actually with Graham at some point in the not too distant future, and he has found some amazing objects, old Tudor keys, knives.
Oh
and
my gosh, that would be
spoons,
awesome.
Padlocks, full Bellarmine
Look
jars.
at that.
And he's
Coins.
also, as I mentioned briefly when I found that knife, he's also donated this beautiful collection of knives to the Cutlers Hall in London. And so it's going to be very, very exciting to interview Graham about his mudlarking career and about some of his finds. So I think that is about it. Oh, apart from the little burb, which is here and who has been through the washing machine, so his little top knot is looking a little bit better than it was when I picked him out of the mud. And he joins the big array
Oh my
of
gosh.
tide-line art orphans on the orphanage shelf of my studio.
Good.
And he's very happy because there's lots of other little bedraggled birds and animals up there. So that is it for today. It's been a strange week this week, as you can imagine, with the death of the Queen announced. It's been very sad, a bit of a sombre mood, but at the same time, it's been lovely to see so many people coming together, united in the grief for the Queen. And I actually went into London with my parents this week and laid some flowers in Green Park, very close to Buckingham Palace. And it was really moving to go round and read the tributes to the Queen and see the cards and the pictures and see all these people together thinking about her remarkable life. Because whatever you may think about the monarchy, I mean, she did such an amazing job, and it's quite a historical moment really, because being down there, seeing all these people and seeing the flowers and talking to people about her, because there's not going to be another monarch for a very long time who has reigned for such a long time. I forget exactly what it is right now, but yeah, quite a poignant week. And I am going to travel into London on Monday. I may walk in, I think, along the Thames path. I'm going to walk in and go and see if I can see some of the funeral procession, and I'll film as much of it as I can, and then perhaps I can share that with you in an upcoming video. So thank you so much everybody for watching.
This was cool.
And also for all your comments, your suggestions, your feedback. Thank you so much too for the donations which many of you have made to my Ko-fi account. I really, really appreciate it. And thank you for all being you. That is the most important thing. I wish you an excellent week ahead, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing you again very soon. And I'm sending you lots of love from here in London. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Oh. Starting to get sad. Addington. Hmm. Well, the corgis. Well, that's great. Oh, that wasn't expecting the end there. That was wonderful. Um, Mudlarking. I kind of dig it. I have to say, first of all, thank you, Nicola. Um, wonderful, wonderful video. Please go support her channel. Links will be in the description. It's important that you go over there and just show the love. She's very entertaining, and historically, there's a lot of value to doing this mudlarking. I mean, they're finding. I assume they find a lot of crap, as in like junk, trash, but they also find a ton of history, historical facts, and artifacts. Sorry, and how fun. I could see why there's, and apparently you can take it home. Now you get to keep them, I guess, whatever you find. So I can see why the government issues. Is there a limit on how many of these? I don't know, license, for lack of a better word, licenses to be able to, you're allowed to go. Do you have to report what you find to the government, to whoever's in charge of the mudlarking community? It seems a lot of fun. I would love to try it, just to get down there and look. Problem is, you got to train your eye to be able to spot these things, and I assume after you know doing it over and over and over, you start to see the shapes forming in the mud. I just see rocks, and so I wouldn't be very good at first, but pretty cool. Those pipes were incredible. Yeah, they are works of art for sure, and the ship's rigging, and yeah, and I love it how when she cleans it up at the end, you kind of really get a chance to see what it was. And man, they're so old, wild. Anyway, thank you to her. Thank you to you for coming and hanging out with me today. Thank you for the suggestion. Never seen that before, so now I know what mudlarking is. So very cool. Before we go, I just want to kind of answer some questions that were brought up during the last video, and I may revisit this at the beginning of the next video because I'm not sure how many of you actually stay and listen to me talk after we watch a video. So hold on, I think I gotta sneeze. Sorry, I think I'm good. Yeah, my son seems like he did have fish cake that first time in Ireland, because I explained it to him what all of you were explaining to me. He goes, "Oh yeah, that was definitely it," and he did not like it. He did have fish and chips. He said the second time he tried it in London, it was more like chicken tenders and stuff like that. He still didn't like it, but the key is to get him to Whitby or somewhere like that to have him try authentic, real fish and chips. So maybe we can get him to try it again. Also, I believe it was American company, maybe in conjunction. I think they're an international company because they go. This company does tours all over the world, so they have some partnership with everybody. But probably an American company that they are in contact with high schools. The tours are pretty much already kind of set. Like their itinerary is already kind of set, but they do kind of just have some flexibility based on what's going on in the world. So, yeah, who knows? Yeah, too much going on. As far as I'm concerned, they should just went to London and spent the time there, or maybe Edinburgh and London. I don't know, but honestly, I'm glad he got to see Wales, the brief part of Wales they got to see. Ireland, of course. So, speaking of Wales, today we are going to go see Wrexham Football Club take on Bournemouth. Is it AFC Bournemouth? Is that what it is? Well, anyway, it's up in Santa Barbara. So I'm going to take some footage there. I'll show you some photos and video maybe in a future video. Anyway, I've talked too much. Have a great day. Thank you, Nicola White, for allowing us to watch your video. And go support her. And hope everybody's happy, healthy, and safe. Take care. Bye.
Mark from the States, Mark from the States, it's Mark. And he's from